What's up, guys? Hotshotfrontier back at it again with another video. And in this video, guys, we're going to be talking about cards you should buy before the ban list drops. So you guys already know the ban list was due past June 5th, and we have yet to see a ban list drop. Imagine as I'm doing this video, it drops today. That'd be pretty funny, but I'd be pretty sad at the same time. But guys, before we start this video, I want to go ahead and shout out one of my past videos. I did a ban list prediction video, and I'm going to leave the link down below for you guys to check out. I think I made some really good points in it, so let me know down below, and also let me know your points for these cards as well. So starting off, very contradictory to this list, we have Chimera, the King of Phantom Beast. I think you should not get this card. Reason being is that it's at a very high price right now of like 23 bucks, 25, and I feel like this card really depends on like how branded gets hit. You know, randomly branded fusion gets hit to like 1. Yeah, this is going to like $2. So I would really wait on this card. I think it can definitely drop in price. But we've seen this card go up and down since its release in Duelist Nexus. So I would honestly just kind of wait up on this card and let's see what happens. Moving on to the next card, we have the Sleipnir, the Runic main. And this card also came out in Duelist Nexus. I think this is around the time where, because Duelist Nexus is our most recent main core set, a lot of things are very low in price, but they will start to rise high depending on like what the ban list does, plus the next set that we're going to be getting. So definitely consider getting certain cards you want now before they get expensive. But talking about the Sleipnir, we have this is a really good card for Runic. Not every Runic deck will of course be playing this, but depending on how the list kind of like hits Runic, this card could be going up in price. So I would consider at least getting 2. If you want to get a playset, definitely go ahead and get a playset. But moving on, we have the Ice Jade Jameer Erigine, and this card is very, very underpriced. And because this came out in Photon Hypernova, this is not getting reprinted in the tins. But this card is very low, and it's around like $2. Some are 4. Like if you look down here, 3. I would definitely have at least a copy of this. I mean, Sword Soul uses this in total. You know, you can use this in other decks in the meta right now as well. So I would definitely at least grab 1 copy because this card can definitely go up to like 15, 20 bucks. How crazy the effect is. But moving on to the next one, we have the Ringbrum, the Striking Dragon, and this card actually went up in price pretty recently because of branded Chimera in the meta. So pretty much everything was cheap for that deck except the Chimera card itself being like around the time it was like 14 bucks. This card was 2, now it rose to like 8, 9 because they at least play the 1, and this was never really expensive and branded because you just have so many other expensive cards in the deck. This card kind of was like a $2, $3 card. But yeah, this card is kind of crazy. I think if you're committed to playing branded, then you should at least have a copy of this card. If not, you could wait until the end of when the ban list drops, but you know, beware, the prices might be crazy. So just a little reminder of that. Moving on, we have the Tearlament Kashtira, and this card again is another card that is not getting reprinted. Now, if you're going to be playing Tearlament, you probably should have this card, right? Kashtira is the big question because is it really going to get like hit on this ban list? And if so, this card's gonna be dipping in price, of course. But if not, this card could actually be going up in price because it's gonna be a little harder to obtain because it came out in Photon Hypernova. So that's another thing to kind of think about if you're gonna be playing Kashtira or a variant of it. So moving on to the same kind of like mindset, we have the Pressured Planet Rice-Off. This card has actually been going back up in price because you guys know this dropped like 80 bucks, went to 70, started dipping. But it used to be like 14 bucks for a while. Now it's slowly seeing more of a rise, pretty much because, you know, you can play this not only in Kashtira, but a lot of people will have an engine where they'll have 1 copy of this card, or maybe 2, and have 2 of the Kashtira Fenrirs. So it's kind of a nice little engine you can have in any other deck. So it's a good way to mill the deck, but also a good way to kind of search your Fenrir. So I would grab this now because I think this has more priority over other things from this list, just because of how accessible you can add it in every single deck. But moving on, we have Big Welcome Labyrinth, and Big Welcome Labyrinth, again, Labyrinth players, if you're going to be playing Labyrinth, like, you need to have this card. Reason being is that it's a $10, $11 card, but it's not getting that reprint. Same thing like the other cards on this list. So if you wait, and I think they're kind of Konami's hyping up Labyrinth, where they kind of probably wanted to take Kashtira's spot. So this card can easily be a $20, $25 card, and you need around 2 to 3 of these. So yeah, that's consider doing that now than later. Same thing with Labyrinth Welcome, a little less. I mean, this card itself is like $4. If you go lower down here, it's like $1.50, $2. But you know, a lot of the things that are lower tend to just rise up in price like automatically, crazy enough, because of like a certain change in the meta. So next up, guys, we have this Rite of Emissary, and yeah, this card, again, I don't think it's going to be too crazy from the balance reactions, but this card's really cheap, and you remember how expensive this card is, so definitely have something like this in your collection because it's a very good engine to have. Moving on, we have Duality, and I think this is kind of a random insert because I feel like Branded is kind of like biased on using it. If not, it is really good, but at the same time it has that downside. But I feel like this is a good card to have in general if you're playing a Light and Darkness deck. So having 2 to 3 copies is really good. And because, again, this came out in the recent Battles Legend set, this is not getting another reprint. It might not have a reprint for a long time. You know, if you think of something like Toon Chaos with the Chaos space, that card didn't get a reprint for a long time, and that card was expensive. So this might be the next like Chaos space, but for Light and Darkness decks. And moving on, we have Super Polymerization, a card that I think everyone should have 3 of. Reason being, it's very cheap, and we're going to be going into a format where, you know, it's very undetermined on what's going to be happening. Well, something that's always like the same is super polying your opponent's board and just kind of getting through your plays. So I think that's something you should definitely have 3 of. Next is Baron de Fleur, and of course I've been telling you guys to get this card for a long time. I'm going to continue to tell you guys to get this card because it is going up in price. You have copies for $51 now. It used to be $40, so you know, get it now before it's too late because it will go back to that $80-$90 price mark potentially. Moving on, we have Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. This card actually went down in price mostly because of the banlist. What do you call it? Banlist fears. Because, you know, Calamity is like probably gonna get hit, right? So this card has gone down in price, but what you have to realize is that just because that card might get banned, there are other things that you can still synchro summon out. So I don't think it's a bad card, and you should probably buy into it if you don't have a copy already and you're planning to play that deck. And some of the final things we have for this list, we have in total Cyberstorm Access. I think there are a lot of good cards to get in this, especially if you're not gonna if you're gonna be playing like Vanadium, you should grab the Field Spell, 3 of them. You know, going down, the Vicious Astrocloud is a very good card as well. The Vanadium stuff is very cheap right now, and if the banlist kind of destroys a bunch of other decks in the meta, then yeah, this deck's going to be going up in price like crazy, so definitely look out for that. And then finally, I want to talk about Max C. Now, no, do not buy this before a banlist comes out. Definitely not. The prices are crazy. But at the same time, you know, if we're saying something like $10 for a common, if you get 3, it's like, I don't think this is going to be coming out right now, but just think back to when we really wanted Needle Fiber into the format, right? From the OCG. We finally did get it, right? I feel like you should buy Max C a few weeks or a month or 2 after a banlist comes out because the prices slightly go down a little bit. But if you really want to, go ahead and buy 3. I mean, $30 to have Max C, because trust me, it's going to be impossible to get Max C after a banlist comes out, and it's freed from the banlist. So really consider doing that, guys, if you believe it's going to be coming out. But guys, that's it for the rest of the video. I kind of wanted to just touch up on a bunch of stuff in the meta. If I missed anything, which I'm sure I did, let me know down below in the comment section. And guys, if you like this video, make sure you give it a huge like. Comment down below, what did I miss? And guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're updated the moment I upload new videos. But that's it for me. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.